Discover how a poor girl's heartwarming plea for a doghouse transformed a millionaire's life for good. Lily stood in the sunlight, her bright green eyes sparkling as she cradled her rescue dog, Max, in her arms. "You deserve a special place, buddy," she whispered, determination flooding her tiny frame. Growing up in a rundown apartment with her overworked single mother, each day felt heavy. Yet, Lily's spirit was unyielding, her heart bursting with dreams that soared higher than the dilapidated walls around her. She was tired of the cramped living space where Max had no yard to run. She wanted him to feel safe, and that meant building him a doghouse, even if it was just out of scraps she found around town. One sunny afternoon, while sketching her design in a worn-out notebook at the local park, a fancy car made its way down the dirt road. Jack, a successful yet disenchanted millionaire, stepped out and watched the girl with curiosity. He used to chase dreams in this park too, back when life was simpler. But now, his heart felt heavy, weighed down by an emptiness that no amount of wealth could fill. He noticed Lily's zeal, her little hands drawing with passion and purpose, a stark contrast to his own bleak existence. "Just a special place for Max to feel safe," she said aloud, her voice sweet yet full of hope. Jack's heart ached. Her words stirred memories he had buried deep: laughter, freedom, the essence of belonging. He felt the chains of his social status tighten around him as he realized he wanted to help, but how could he, when doubt clouded the community's minds? They saw him as just the rich guy, an outsider to their struggles. Determined to change, Jack organized a grand charity event to uplift the town, throwing money at problems he could not truly understand. Yet, as he stood at the podium on that fateful day, he watched the crowd's disappointment blossom like a dark cloud over his head. The air felt heavy, and the walls of his fortune began to feel like a prison. How could he connect with people when they viewed him with skepticism? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days turned to weeks, and Jack struggled to find a way to make a real impact. Then, he ran into Lily again, who was picking up scraps for her doghouse. This time, he didn't hesitate. He approached her, swallowing his fears. "Let's build something together," he said. "A community center, a place where everyone feels safe." She blinked, surprised, but hope ignited in her chest. As they began to sketch ideas and rally support, the atmosphere shifted. Jack was no longer the rich man trying to impose his will, he became a part of the community, alongside Lily. Together, they transformed their fates, but as the unveiling day approached, doubt loomed. Would the community embrace Jack's newfound intentions? Would they welcome the heart of a girl who just wanted Max to have a home? The stakes were raised, not just for Lily's dreams but for Jack's soul, as they stood at the cusp of something greater. Good. The day of the unveiling arrived with a sky painted in the hues of dawn, radiant and hopeful. Lily felt butterflies fluttering in her stomach as she stood alongside Jack outside the community center, a place they had poured their hearts into building. The laughter and chatter of the neighborhood filled the air, an orchestra of voices playing a melody both familiar and new. Jack's eyes shone with a mix of pride and anxiety, his heart racing as he prepared to face the very people he once felt distant from. "Are you ready?" he asked, glancing at Lily, who was holding Max, a small canine ambassador for the new space. Her response was a bright smile followed by a nod. "More than ever," she replied, her determination palpable. Together, they had worked tirelessly to turn sketches into steel beams and walls that now stood as a testament to their dreams. As the crowd gathered, Jack's palms grew sweaty. He scanned their faces, trying to gauge their feelings. The anticipation felt electric, he could sense the weight of judgment lingering in the air. Would they see past his wealth and recognize his sincerity? Lily took a deep breath. "We built this for everyone," she said, stepping forward to take the microphone. "This isn't just a building, it's a home for our dreams, a place where we can all come together." Her voice rang clear, slicing through apprehension. Jack watched as she captivated hearts with her simple but powerful words. They had designed the center to offer classes, activities, and a safe haven for pets, something very close to her heart. The community had come alive with her enthusiasm. When it was Jack's turn, he took a step towards the microphone, heart thumping loudly. He cleared his throat. "I know I'm not from this world," he began, glancing out at the crowd, "but I want to learn. I want to be part of this community." He felt vulnerability wash over him, but he pressed on. "I used to think money could solve everything. But I was wrong. It's the connections we make that truly matter." Heads nodded in recognition, a ripple of understanding sweeping through the crowd. As he spoke, the skepticism he had faced began to melt away. The warmth of acceptance started to wrap around him like a comforting blanket. Their eyes reflected a flicker of hope. Maybe they could see him as more than just the rich guy, maybe they could see him as a friend. After his speech, people slowly approached. It started with a few hesitant smiles, then grew into heartfelt congratulations. They shared ideas for events and activities they wanted to see at the community center. Each exchange felt like a brick being laid in the foundation of trust, and in that moment of connection, Jack felt transformative joy. The past weeks of doubt, fear, and struggle faded like a distant echo. After the celebrations wound down, Lily and Jack stood together, looking at the center glowing in the twilight. With Max contentedly resting at their feet, she turned to Jack. "We did it. Look what we created." Jack smiled, his heart fuller than he could remember. Yet beneath the joy, uncertainty lingered. The community had embraced them, but would it last? What other challenges would they face in this evolving relationship? As they pondered the future, a train of children came racing toward them. "Can we bring our dogs?" one shouted, eyes sparkling with excitement. Jack and Lily exchanged glances, their hearts pounding together with hope and fear. Would this be the start of something truly transformative? Jack squeezed Lily's hand tightly, his mind racing with possibilities. "Let South make this place a home," he said, filled with newfound determination. But as the cheerful yells of children filled the air, one lingering question hung heavy in the twilight: could a single community center truly change their lives forever? As days turned into weeks, the community center became a backdrop for countless memories. Children raced through the open fields, their laughter blending with the sound of barking puppies. Neighbors shared smiles, and the air turned thick with friendship. Jack felt the heartbeat of the place, a rhythm that echoed a sense of belonging. Yet, despite the bustle, he couldn't shake the remnants of his past self, an ache of insecurity that whispered he didn't belong here. One afternoon, as he sat on a weathered bench, lost in thought, Lily approached with a group of kids, each holding leashes. They were excitedly adopting dogs from a local shelter, a rescue event they had organized together. "Jack! Come meet them." She beamed. He watched as she knelt to pet a fluffy golden retriever, her joy contagious. Each child took turns introducing their new companions. "This is Bella. She loves to chase tennis balls," one boy exclaimed, holding up a tail-wagging furry bundle. Jack smiled, but an unfamiliar shadow loomed in the corner of his mind. What if, as they bonded with these dogs, they realized Jack wasn't one of them? The next day, he made his way into the bustling center, determined to put his apprehension aside. He was greeted by a young girl named Mia, who had been at the shelter event. Her big brown eyes sparkled with hope. "Mr. Jack, can we build a doghouse? I want my dog, Sparky, to have a fancy place to sleep." Her question pulled at his heartstrings. It wasn't just a doghouse she wanted, it was a reflection of care, a piece of home. Jack felt a rush of inspiration. "Absolutely. Let us make it a community project," he declared, the words escaping before he could filter them. "I'll provide the supplies. Mia's face lit up, a spark ignited in her spirit. Really? That's amazing. The excitement was contagious, and soon others joined in, voices buzzing like a hive of bees. This small request blossomed into a full-blown weekend event. As they worked side by side, hammering nails and painting with bright colors, Jack began to feel the weight lift. The laughter of children filled the air, their hopes and dreams projected onto each stroke of paint. They brainstormed designs, each child bringing their unique ideas to life. Dogs barked happily in the background, as if cheering them on, yet, amid the joy, Jack's mind raced. What would this mean for him? Was this a turning point or just a fleeting moment? Just then, he caught Lily's eye across the yard, and she smiled warmly, as if reading his thoughts. Her belief in him felt grounding, like a quiet promise that together, they could create something lasting. A few awkward moments passed until Jack finally mustered his courage. He approached Lily, his heart thumping. What if this doghouse could symbolize something more? What if we worked on it together as a way to connect with the community, a way to honor everyone who trusted us? Her brow furrowed slightly, and she paused, considering. What do you mean? She asked, curiosity piqued. What if each doghouse had a plaque? A little story of the family or child who adopted the dog? This way, we're creating more than just shelters. Her eyes widened in excitement. That's perfect. Our pets will have homes, and their stories will be told. In that moment of clarity, the weight of Jack's insecurities began to dissipate, replaced by a rush of determination and warmth. This was just the beginning. They would grow together, create something meaningful, and perhaps, just perhaps, build a future free from doubt, but hope surged forward as redoubtable challenges lay ahead. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Jack considered the ripple of change they were about to create in their community. Little did they know, some secrets were waiting to be discovered, ones that could either deepen their bonds or tear everything apart. Could they truly unite the community with a simple doghouse? What stories would be revealed as they ventured further? The morning sun spilled through the windows of the community center, illuminating the busy scene inside. Jack stood by a table, surrounded by piles of wood and paint cans, feeling electric with anticipation. The doghouse project had become the focal point of his existence, a mission that began small but loomed large in his heart. Children buzzed around him, their hands sticky with paint and their laughter infectious. Mia was at his side, her ponytail swinging as she wrangled everyone into teams. Okay, who wants to work on Sparky's house? She called out, her voice bubbling with enthusiasm. Me. The kids yelled, rushing to grab tools. Jack couldn't help but smile. Each shout was a vibrant reminder of the joy they were bringing to life. The day flowed like a well-rehearsed play. They hammered, painted, and laughed until their sides hurt. In the chaos, Jack glanced at Lily, who was helping two kids add colorful designs to a wooden plank. Her hair shone in the sunlight, and her laughter rang like a melody. He felt a warmth in his chest. But as the day wore on, doubt crept back in. What if this was all just a flash in the pan? He couldn't shake the feeling that something deep inside him still held him back. Just as his anxious thoughts spiraled, Lily approached him, a paintbrush still in hand. Jack, why do you look like you've just seen a ghost? He chuckled nervously, avoiding her gaze. I guess I'm just wondering if it will all really matter, you know? What if nobody remembers this in a month? Her expression shifted, serious now. That's not true. You might not see it yet, but these kids are creating memories, and so are you. This is a moment that they'll carry with them. Jack absorbed her words, nodding slowly. As he watched the scene before him, he began to see the truth. The sound of nails driving into wood, the splashes of color as they painted the doghouses, the kids sharing their dreams of companionship with their new pets. This was life happening in real time. Even so, as the day ended and the sun dipped low, a whisper of unease remained. Jack knew there were secrets in the community. Murmurs he had overheard. Families with struggles hidden behind bright smiles. It made his heart ache. Could he really help them, or was he just another outsider, trying to fit in? The next few days shifted quickly into a whirlwind of activity. More volunteers joined, drawn by Lily's enthusiasm and Mia's charm. There were blueprints, little designs, and whispers of stories already beginning to unfold. Yet Jack felt like an observer, watching from the sidelines. He could see how connected everyone was, yet doubt seeped back in what made him worthy to stand beside them. For every joyful shout, a shadow of insecurity loomed. On the day of the unveiling, the community center was alive. Families gathered, excitement buzzing in the air. Jack stood at the edge, heart racing as he took it all in. But then, Mia ran up to him, her eyes wide as saucers. "Mr. Jack, there's someone here to see you," she gasped, pointing across the crowd. Jack followed her gaze, his heart thumping hard. Who could it be? The air grew thick with anticipation. As the crowd parted, a familiar face stepped forward, a face he had thought he'd left behind. "Jack, we need to talk," the figure said, voice low yet urgent, and suddenly, the excitement of the day collided with the chill of his past. The gravity of that moment sank deep, pulling Jack into an uncertain future. What did this mean for everything he'd built? Could the past bring the community together or tear it apart? As the crowd buzzed with joyous energy, Jack was left standing, wondering how he would navigate these waters. Jack's heart raced. The voice that called his name was unmistakable, cutting through the joy of the moment like a knife. He took a step forward, drawn helplessly toward the figure that loomed before him. It was Alex, his childhood friend, but now a stranger wrapped in a web of forgotten memories. "I didn't think you'd come," Jack managed, his voice shaking slightly. The years between them felt heavy, each one filled with unspoken words and unresolved feelings. "I didn't plan to, but I had to see you. It's important." Alex glanced around nervously, as if searching for hidden judgment in the crowd. "Can we talk somewhere private?" There was urgency in Alex's voice. Jack felt a surge of protectiveness. Here they were, surrounded by laughter, joy, and the culmination of his hopes, and yet the shadows of the past threatened to cloud it all over again. He nodded, leading the way to a quiet corner by the supply shed, rumors and speculation swirling in the air behind them. "What is going on?" Jack asked, squaring his shoulders. "You look different." Alex dropped his gaze, a hint of vulnerability flickering across his face. "Things have changed for me, Jack. The family's, well, it's a mess. You know how we used to joke about my parents in meetings? They're not laughing anymore. We lost everything, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I thought I could manage on my own, but Jack's breath hitched. Memories flooded his mind, the carefree summers they spent stealing snacks from the corner store, the dreams they spun together over shared pizza. "What do you need from me?" "Honestly? I need support, a friend." Alex's voice cracked. "The last few months have been hell, and I don't know where to turn. I heard about the project you're doing here. I just thought maybe I could help. Maybe we could start fresh." Jack's instincts told him to trust his friend, but another voice echoed in his head, the same one that had haunted him for days. Was he just inviting more chaos into his life? The laughter of children reached his ears, grounding him momentarily, but the weight of his doubt lingered. "Will it make things worse?" Jack asked quietly, his heart pounding. "I don't want to drag the community into your struggles. I did some things I'm not proud of, Jack. But I want to make them right. I promise I'm not asking for a handout. If you give me a chance, I'd like to help build these doghouses. I'm good with my hands. I know what it means to bring joy, just like you've done here." Despite Jack's misgivings, the sincerity in Alex's eyes broke through his defenses. He thought of the kids, their smiles, and how they needed every ounce of belief he could muster. Maybe, just maybe, letting Alex into this part of his life could help heal both of them. "All right, Jack finally said, swallowing hard. Let us do it. As they shook hands, Jack sensed the community's mounting excitement behind them. It was more than just about building doghouses. They were weaving a tapestry of memories, both new and old. Yet, uncertainty hung over Jack like a storm cloud. Would Alex's return truly be a fresh start for both of them, or would it unravel everything he had fought for? As the sun set, casting golden shadows across the community center, Jack steeled himself for whatever lay ahead. The past was unearthing itself in an unexpected way, and a flicker of hope mixed with trepidation sparked within. Could this venture truly heal old wounds, or would it expose deeper rifts hidden beneath the surface? The laughter continued around them, but Jack knew that the journey ahead was going to test everything he believed about friends, trust, and redemption. And as he turned back to the crowd, one question rang in his mind: how much was he willing to risk for the sake of another and himself? The next morning dawned bright and crisp, the kind of day that promised new beginnings. Jack stood at the community center, the warmth of the sun draping over him like a welcoming embrace. Today marked the start of a venture he never thought he'd embark on. With Alex by his side. As volunteers filtered in, Jack caught sight of Alex nervously shifting from foot to foot, his hands burrowing deep into his pockets. Jack's heart twisted at the sight. The old Alex shone through the uncertainty. "Hey, you alright?" Jack asked, stepping closer. "Yeah, just trying to shake the nerves," Alex said with a half-smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "I'm not sure I remember how to do this. Just remember what we talked about. It's about the kids and building something good." Jack clapped his hand on Alex's shoulder, squeezing lightly. They gathered their supplies and set up a makeshift area where the kids could watch and learn. The excitement buzzed in the air like electricity. Little faces peered out from behind their parents, eyes wide with curiosity. For some, it might be just a doghouse, but for Jack, it was a chance to show Alex a path forward. "Okay, everyone," Jack called out, trying to rally the group. "We're here to build some awesome doghouses. Let us bring joy to our furry friends and maybe even build a couple of memories along the way." As hammers struck nails and laughter filled the air, Jack stole glances at Alex working alongside the children, his smile broadening slowly. It was good to see him engaged, but Jack couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows weren't far behind. After a while, as they took a break for water, Jack joined Alex, who was sitting on a sawhorse. "You're doing great," Jack said, handing him a bottle. "The kids love it." "I just hope I don't mess things up," Alex said, his voice low, almost swallowed by the laughter nearby. "We're all figuring it out as we go. Just take it one step at a time." Jack attempted to reassure him, but doubt brewed within himself too. An hour later, a soft tug on Jack's pant leg interrupted his thoughts. He looked down to see Mia, a bright-eyed girl who often showed up at the community events with her mother. "Mr. Jack," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, "can I help today? I love dogs, and they need nice houses." Jack knelt down to her level, feeling an unexpected warmth engulf him. "Of course, Mia. We love your help. Here, how about you hold this piece of wood while we measure?" As Mia beamed, Jack's heart swelled. That was the magic of this project, uniting young hearts with a purpose, creating joy in unexpected places. He caught Alex watching from a short distance, appreciation reflected in his gaze. A sense of accomplishment wrapped around Jack as day turned to dusk. They had built something tangible, plus some invaluable memories. Yet, amongst the chatter and happiness, there was still a knot of worry twisting in Jack's gut. What if the old rifts between him and Alex opened? What if Alex couldn't resist the siren call of his past? As they packed up for the day, Jack's instinct screamed at him to tread carefully. He turned to Alex. "How are you feeling about everything?" I think I can do this," Alex replied, a flicker of determination lacing his voice. "But I need your help. I don't want to go back to where I was." Jack's heart sank, realizing this was about more than just the doghouses. It was a bridge between their past and whatever rested ahead. And I want to help. Just promise me, no sliding back. No repeating past mistakes. I promise, Jack. This time, I'm different. As dusk settled in, the last rays of sunlight kissed the horizon goodbye, leaving an inkling of hope. Jack felt every ounce of uncertainty rise within him, as the answers remained shrouded in the dark. Would this venture truly bring them both the redemption and friendship they yearned for, or was it simply a fleeting moment of sunshine in a storm yet to come? The sun dipped lower, casting a warm amber glow over the community center. Jack could still hear the echo of laughter intertwined with the sounds of hammers against nails. It felt as though they built more than just doghouses today, they stitched hope into the very fabric of their community. Yet, as he looked at Alex, the phantom doubts of yesterday lingered. "Hey," Jack said, nudging Alex, who was deep in thought, staring at the half-finished doghouse in front of them. "You want to take a picture? Capture the moment?" Alex's eyes sparked with surprise, and for a brief second, the weight of doubt fell away. "Sure, why not?" he exclaimed, his voice brightening. They gathered the volunteers, who were still buzzing with excitement, and posed in front of their handiwork, a group of tired but joyful faces ready to make a difference. The snap of the camera felt like a declaration. They were here. They were moving forward. Once the volunteers began to disperse, Jack could see the air of accomplishment wrap around them like a comforting blanket. But deep inside, Jack felt a gnawing chasm of worry. It was like waiting for a bomb to drop, the anxiety clawing at him. "Did you notice how much Mia loved helping out?" Jack asked, trying to shift the conversation to lighter ground. "She was so eager." "Yeah," Alex replied, his voice softer now. "It's refreshing. Kids have this way of reminding us what matters." Jack smiled, but his mind was still clouded. "You know," he started cautiously, "if you keep this up, getting involved with projects like this, you might really find your path." Alex turned to face him, the shadows of his past flickering behind his eyes. "I want to, Jack. I really do. But what if I don't know? What if I disappoint you?" Jack held his gaze. "You're not going to disappoint me. Not this time. Today was a start. As long as you keep choosing to step forward, I'll be right here." For a moment, silence enveloped them, and Jack felt the weight of the promise in the air. It hung there between them, fragile yet solid. Just then, Mia reappeared. She had her mother by the hand, clutching something tightly to her little chest. "Mr. Jack," she called, her excitement bubbling over. "Look what I made." Her mother smiled, a mixture of pride and encouragement reflected in her eyes. Mia opened her hands to reveal a crumpled paper filled with colorful drawings of dogs and houses, scribbles intertwined with laughter and creativity. "I drew a doghouse for the dogs. And see, this one has a flower garden. It's gonna make them so happy," Mia declared, her blue eyes alight with joy. Jack knelt down, marveling at her creation. "This is amazing. Did you think about it all by yourself?" Mia nodded vigorously. "I want the dogs to have a nice home, just like we do." Her innocence struck Jack with full force. In that moment, he realized that this wasn't just about doghouses. It was a reminder that everyone, no matter how small, could create change. Alex looked at them, a smile breaking through his past clouds, the edges of his uncertainties blurring. Yet, the moment was fleeting, as a new tension settled in. "Do you think," Alex began, "that even when we're trying to make things better, we can still mess things up?" Jack's heart sank again. Was change truly attainable? What if they fell back into the patterns of hurt and regret? Before Jack could answer, a shout rang out from the playground a few blocks over. They both turned to see a group of kids chasing after a runaway ball, laughter erupting like wildflowers in spring. "See that?" Alex said, pointing. "They're living in the moment, not worrying about what comes next." Jack sighed, feeling a flicker of hope. That's what we need, right? To live without fear? As they began to pack up for the day, an unexpected warmth sparked between them. There was a path ahead, veiled yet enticing. Alex faced Jack, sincerity etched into his features. Let us do this together, no matter what. Jack nodded, the knot in his stomach loosening just a fraction. Yet, deep down, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of a journey. Filled with unknowns, together they walked towards the sunset, but the shadows they fought against loomed ever closer. Would they find the light, or would they be consumed by the darkness that had once defined them? The night stretched out before them, full of promise and uncertainty. What awaited them on this path, only time would reveal. The next day dawned bright and crisp, the kind of day that filled you with a sense of possibility. Jack strolled to the community center, his heart lighter than it had been in months. He replayed yesterday's moments in his mind, the laughter, the joy, Mia's vibrant drawings. It felt good, real good, to be part of something larger than himself. As he stepped through the doors, he found Alex already there, setting up tables for today's project. You made it. Jack called out, hoping to infuse their routine with extra enthusiasm. Of course, Alex replied, glancing up with a mixture of pride and remnants of caution. I couldn't wait to get started again. There's something about this place that I don't know, it feels right. Jack grinned. Exactly. Today, we're building not just doghouses, but hope. The conversations buzzed around them as volunteers trickled in, their faces eager and bright with the spirit of community. Jack felt the weight of yesterday's doubts lifting, even if only a little. He didn't want to contemplate what it meant if this didn't work out, he just wanted to embrace the moment. As everyone got settled, Brian, one of the older volunteers, stood up to address the crowd. With a hearty laugh, he announced, "All right, folks. Who's ready to build some homes for our furry friends?" The cheer that erupted filled the room with warmth, igniting a spark among the volunteers. Jack caught Alex's eye in that instant, both of them sharing a silent understanding they were in it together. They divided into small groups, each taking a part in the construction of the doghouses. Jack spotted Mia racing toward them, her mother following close, a determined look on her face. "Mr. Jack," Mia called, tugging at his sleeve. "Can I help? I want to draw more for the dogs." "Of course, Mia. You can be our doghouse artist," Jack replied, his heart swelling. She beamed at the title, the authority in her small voice reminding everyone present that ages didn't dictate impact. Mia's mother, Miss Clara, approached Jack, gratitude written all over her features. "Thank you for inspiring my daughter," she said, her voice full of emotion. "You don't know what this means to her." "It's all her," Jack said, nodding toward Mia. "She reminds us about the importance of giving." As the day wore on, a calming rhythm took hold. Laughter mixing with sounds of hammers echoed through the center. People worked side by side, strangers becoming friends, all united by a desire to lift lives both human and canine. But then something unexpected happened. A young girl named Emma appeared at the door, shyly holding on to her mother. Her big brown eyes were full of longing as she noticed the bustling activity. "What is going on?" Emma asked, her voice almost a whisper. "We're building doghouses today." Mia piped up, her excitement intact. Emma's face lit up at the prospect. "Can I help too? I love dogs." "Absolutely." Jack called out, waving her over. The moment felt electric, and for a brief slice of time, they were not just building houses but nurturing dreams. As Emma joined the group, Jack glanced towards Alex. He knew the moment was important. They were no longer just constructing wood and nails, they were laying down foundations for a sense of belonging. Everyone was contributing, and he recognized that people transformed and found healing through togetherness. But just as Jack began to think about the positive shift, a moment of sadness crept in. What if, despite the fleeting warmth, they couldn't sustain this newfound connection? Would it all unravel with time, leaving broken hearts behind? A sudden crash jolted him from his thoughts. One of the doghouses tipped over, sending tools skidding across the floor. Jack's heart raced as he rushed over, worried about the tone this would set. What happened? He asked, scanning the faces of his volunteers. Would this be a setback, or a moment of growth? Standing at the center of the chaos was Alex, determination painting his face. We'll fix it, he declared, his voice steady. We'll learn from this. Together. In that instant, Jack realized the most difficult journeys were sometimes the ones that shaped them the most. They rushed in, ready to tackle the unexpected challenge. Would that day become just another blip on their journey, or a defining moment that would change everything? As everyone steadied their breath, ready to rebuild, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that beneath the laughter and chatter lay deeper truths waiting to be uncovered. Jack took a deep breath, the air rich with the scent of sawdust and fresh paint. He could feel a flicker of tension grip the room after the crash, but he pushed it aside, focusing instead on the resilient spirit of the group gathered around him. All right, folks, let us gather around, he called, trying to channel the momentum they had built. Alex stood beside him, quickly rallying their team. Who was working on that section? Let us see what we can do here. Remember, mistakes are just opportunities in disguise. His words seemed to resonate, reminded the volunteers of their shared purpose. Emma, with her wide innocent eyes, grabbed a paintbrush and dipped it into vibrant colors. I want to help decorate that one. She chirped, pointing toward the fallen doghouse. Jack smiled, buoyed by her enthusiasm. That sounds great, Emma. Humor me, what do you think we should paint on it? A big heart. She exclaimed confidently. In that moment, the hesitation in the air dissipated, replaced by laughter at the thought of a heart on a doghouse. Perfectly whimsical. Seeing the others engage in the task, Jack felt his own heart lift. They splintered into groups again, some adjusting boards, others picking up tools, while Mia and Emma giggled as they transformed the doghouse into a canvas of color and joy. Everyone was leaning in, working not only towards repairing the doghouse but building something much larger than mere structures: a community, a family, a bond. As the team repaired the fallen doghouse, Jack noticed neighbors, retired veterans, single parents, and children all working alongside each other. Each struggle, each mistake became a point of connection rather than a divide. They were teaching one another, learning resilience in the strongest sense. We have to make this one the best, Mia declared, her tiny hands painting flowers around Emma's heart, embodying the joy of creating together. With each stroke of the brush, they infused a piece of themselves into the project, making it theirs. Jack's heart swelled watching them. It wasn't about perfection, it was about learning, caring, and giving their all for something greater. Just then, a new voice broke through. I'll donate the supplies to finish this one. A woman stepped forward, her arms crossed but her smile wide. It looks far more special than I thought it would. There was a collective cheer, buoying everyone's spirits further. Jack couldn't help but think of how the act of creating and contributing was a bridge, not just for the dogs who would live in those houses but for the people building them. As the last touches were added, a sense of accomplishment flooded the room. Each piece reflected not just the craftsmanship but the camaraderie they had fostered. As they admired their work, Jack realized this was more than just a way to help dogs, it was a reminder of the immense power of community. But just when Jack thought they had reached a peak, he saw a figure lurking at the door. A man in a suit stepped inside, his gaze scanning the joyous scene with apparent skepticism. Jack's pulse quickened. Was he here to critique their efforts? Was he someone with authority, here to put a stop to their fun? Excuse me, the man called out, stepping forward, can I talk to the organizers? Jack felt a knot in his stomach. That's me, he managed, stepping up. The man's eyes narrowed just slightly but then softened as he looked around the room filled with laughter and paint splatters. I've been looking for initiatives like this for a long time, he began, his voice steady. I might be able to help you take this project even further. Curiosity and a mix of trepidation washed over Jack. The weight of the day's emotions hung in the air, and he felt a transformation was imminent. What kind of help did this man represent? Would it be the lifeline they needed, or another challenge to navigate? He braced himself as the man continued, unsure of the direction this conversation would lead. The man took a step forward, surveying the lively scene around him. My name is Mr. Wilson. I'm with a local nonprofit that specializes in pet care and community development. Seeing what you're doing here today, it's evident you have the right vision. Jack felt a ripple of hope surge through him. This was what they had been dreaming of. But he remained cautious. What kind of help are you talking about? He asked, searching the man's expression for sincerity. Mr. Wilson smiled, the corners of his eyes crinkling with warmth. We have resources to expand your project, materials, funding, even workshops on community engagement. It looks like your doghouses have already brought people together. Imagine what we could do with a little more support. Jack exchanged glances with Alex, both feeling the weight of the moment. That would mean a lot to us, Jack replied, his voice steady despite the racing heartbeat in his chest. But it also means we would have more responsibility. We would want to make sure it's used to sustain what we've built here. Absolutely, Mr. Wilson nodded. With great support comes great responsibility. I want to work with your community, not above it. You get to keep the spirit of this project alive. The two men began discussing plans, and Jack could feel a collective energy grow around them as the volunteers listened in. Excitement brewed, sparking smiles wide across faces, children whispering in anticipation. Perhaps this was the turning point they had longed for. The chance to deepen their connection, to spread joy farther than they thought possible. As Jack and Mr. Wilson talked logistics, Lily approached, eyes gleaming with curiosity. What's happening? She asked, watching Jack's expression fluctuate between cautious optimism and excitement. They want to help, Jack said, motioning to Mr. Wilson. Our project could grow bigger. Bigger? Lily questioned, her head tilting. Like how? Imagine more doghouses, more events, workshops that tie everyone together. Jack leaned down slightly, smiling at her. Your dream for Max could be part of something that helps all the pets in the community. Lily beamed, the light radiating from her heart. That would be amazing. We could help all the dogs. With the conversation buzzing, Jack glanced over at Alex. He seemed exhilarated but lost in thought. Hey, Jack called, this is more than doghouses now. It's a chance to redefine what we're doing. This could be our moment if we stick together. Alex snapped from his reverie, a spark igniting in his eyes. Yeah. Let us take this to new heights. As Jack continued discussions with Mr. Wilson, volunteers began curating ideas, surrounding Jack and Mr. Wilson with sketches and suggestions that reflected their vision. Laughter and chatter filled the community center, the sound of hope, laughter, and unity echoing like soft music. By day's end, stacks of blueprints had emerged, and an enthusiastic buzz enveloped them as Jack laid out the immediate next steps, with Mr. Wilson's support in tow. Each member of their community contributed to the discussion, their voices intertwining, creating a tapestry of ideas ready to blossom. As dusk faded into night, Jack gazed around the community center. Children adorned in paint, parents lending helping hands, and strangers becoming friends, all of it felt transformative. He caught a glimpse of Lily sharing a bright moment with Mia and Emma, their innocent giggles igniting the warmth in his heart. Moments like this reminded him of what was truly important: belonging, hope, change, love. This community was their family, and together, they were building not just houses for dogs, but a foundation for dreams. Are you ready for this? Jack whispered to Alex, who stood beside him, the color of a newly painted doghouse reflecting in their eyes. More than ever, Alex replied confidently, gripping Jack's shoulder. Let us change lives together. And with that powerful sentiment hanging in the air, Jack knew they were on the brink of something monumental. Surrounding them were the hearts and hopes of those who believed they would face challenges ahead, but now, they would do it together, connected and empowered. As the stars began to twinkle above, Jack felt that perhaps this venture could indeed heal them all. It was the beginning of not just a community center, but a bright future layered in love, unity, and boundless possibilities. As they ventured onward, Jack's heart brimmed with unshakable belief. Together, they could change everything. Now, right here, right now, I need you all to step up. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories like this one. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support. I want to hear from you. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this powerful ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Let us make waves, folks. Your support means the world.